Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to another installment. You are on with Worship and Wellness, where we believe in biblical principles with practical steps. My name is Marcus. I'm joined by my co-host. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name's Aisha.
Hello, hello, hello.
What?
Glad to be here. Glad to be here. So today's topic is money mindset. So we'll be diving into a topic that affects us all. The way we think about money shapes our decisions, shapes our habits, and even our future. For some, money is a source of stress, while others, it's a tool for freedom. But what if the key to financial success isn't just about how much you make, but how you think about money? So today, we are joined by a special guest who will help us break down what a healthy money mindset looks like. So without further ado,
Hey
hello,
y'all.
hello.
Hi.
Hey,
How you
hey,
doing? How you
hey.
doing this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So let's start with a little introduction. Go and tell us a little bit about yourself, and why this topic is so such a passion for you.
Yeah, so first of all, thank you so much for inviting me, thinking about me, considering me to speak on this topic cuz sometimes people believe it is like a foreign language when I tell them money mindset and mental health. They're like, "What? Like
Mm.
that?" Like they look at me like I have like five heads. So thank you so much for considering me, to speak on this topic and sharing a platform because this is going to be super fun. So a little bit about me. I am Ash Lynn Price. I am a licensed social worker and a certified financial social worker, which means I take the tangible aspects of financial literacy and of money and I marry them or merge them with the comprehensive skills of mental health. So I merged the two together, and that's where mental health and money management comes from. So I talk about how your past perspectives, traumas, and beliefs about money influences your current spending habits. Essentially, like how do I build a relationship with money, and what is my relationship, or do I have a do I even have a relationship with money? And what does that look like? So I know that was a handful. And I started in this place, long story short, my personal testimony. I lost my brother February 2021, and we were preparing for his homegoing service. And as we were preparing for his homegoing service, the magic question comes up. How much is this going to cost? Right? So we're going through the logistics, flowers, how many, because it's during COVID 2021. So flowers, what can he wear? How many people can come? Picking out colors, the logistic stuff. And then the question came up, how much is this going to cost? Right? And we got the answer. And we was like, oh, okay, okay, right? And I say that to say is because we came to the realization that we did not have enough life insurance set aside for the homegoing service. And that was when family had to contribute to the homegoing service. So we were able to have it, but family was able to contribute. The part that got me was where I didn't really have any money saved a way to support my family in the homegoing service for my brother. So I felt guilty. I felt shameful. I felt embarrassed because I'm the money social worker. Like, this is Ashlyn Price, the money social worker. I talk about this stuff all the time. Like, why don't I have money to contribute? And I felt guilty and I felt shameful that I couldn't even support my own family. And this is the stuff I teach to people every day. So how dare you, Ashlyn, like tell me what I should be doing? You ain't even doing it yourself. So in that space I felt really, really guilty and embarrassed. Crying, went into a deep, deep, deep depression, missing deadlines at work, not eating, not working out, excessive crying, like no lights on, blinds closed. Like it was a whole mess. And I tried to bargain with God.
Mhm.
Like, all right, God, you know, you're not gonna do stuff you ain't supposed to be doing. And you like, God, if you get me home from this party, I promise I won't ever go back to that party again. You know, doing stuff we ain't had no business doing. So I was like, all right, God, if you bring my brother back, if you bring my brother back, I promise I'll go wherever you need me to go. I'll do whatever you need me to do. I'll speak to whoever you need me to speak to. I'll give my tithe and my offering every Sunday if you bring my brother back, right? I try to bargain with him. And he was like, you know, like get a smack on your forehead, like a reality check, like, boo. He was
Like
like,
parents do, like fathers do.
yeah. He was like, wait a minute, hold on, sis. Wait a minute. That ain't what we doing. He was like, you're supposed to be doing these things anyway. So that's not a bargain for me. And I was like, oh, that hurt. That stung a little bit. Because I felt a little convicted. Like, to be transparent, I was like, oh, okay, that was a sting. So I say all of that to say is that my money, what I had or what I didn't have and how I could support myself and my family, I went into a deep, deep depression, anger, frustrated, missing deadlines at work, blinds closed, and it affected my mental health. Where it was a little debilitating, and I literally had to find a therapist to walk me through this place of this grief because I felt like I literally could not afford to grieve. Like, no, not even figuratively. I literally couldn't afford to grieve. And I felt so guilty and ashamed by that. So that's my personal testimony of how I kind of merged the tangible aspect of money mindset with, you know, the clinical, psychological, comprehensive, like mental health stuff with money mindset and mental health. So that's where the financial social work comes into play along with being a licensed clinician.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love the story. Incredible story. I love the merge of the mental health with the financial. I always say this, that the wellness categories, they often intersect, right? Very often. So that's actually seamless and it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And I was going to say, unfortunately, a lot of us have been there when it's time, when we talk about finances and money, when it's time to bury someone and we're gathering the family. That's not an uncommon experience.
Yes.
For a lot of us.
And that's usually the time that we want to talk about it. And at that time, it's too late.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's too late to talk about it. And most people don't want to discuss it because they have these concepts in their brain or concepts in their mind. Is like, I don't want to speak death over myself. Yes. I don't want to be having this types of conversation. I'm not going to die yet. Listen, no one knows the day nor the hour.
Don't be
so
scared.
I'll be like, listen, have a couple policies on me, okay? Mom, how many you got? You know,
yes.
I need to know. Because my parents aren't going to be here forever. And I have to, you know, make sure that me and my assets are taken care of. So these conversations have to start in the way far beginning.
Yep. And like you said, a lot of times it's already too late. So ASAP is the time to start. Because like you say, you don't know when your time is up. You don't know when it's your time to go. And it's a stigma, like you said, around those kind of conversations. Not just the death part, but the money part, which is why it's so awesome that you're merging the two, or that you're merging, you know, the aspects and that kind of thing. Yeah. So now is the time. Now is the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you're advising your clients, what does a healthy money mindset look like?
So first we have to start back at the basics.
Okay.
Right. And when I say the basics, I mean, when you hear the word money, How do you feel? When you hear the word budget or a planning schedule, how does your body respond? Like sometimes those words trigger people on the inside, and they be like, my hands are sweating. I get anxious just by hearing the hearing the word money or finances or budget or spending. Like those are real life experiences and responses our bodies have when having those types of conversations. So when I say start back to the beginning, I just talk about, well, what is your money story? And when I talk about your money story, that goes back to, what was your first response with money? Who taught you about the meaning and the significance of money? How did you learn that money had value? What is your first response of having a savings or a bank account? How did your parents interact with money? You know, and what did they tell you about finances? What are the things that you've heard from your friends? Like just basic conversation about your money story, because all of us have one. Every single person has a money story. So if I'm having a consultation, I usually talk about, like, what is your money story? Why is it important now? What value does it hold in your life at this moment? And most people, the common theme that I hear is that I don't feel valuable enough. I don't feel worthy enough to be financially free. You know, I don't think I'm deserving enough. Who do I think I am to learn more about money and investments and stocks and bonds? You know what I'm saying? Like some people really have a hold on themselves regarding those stigmas. So I usually just start at the very beginning and let's just talk about your response to money. Like, what's your money story? And then they just start spilling out all kinds of stuff to me. Yeah.
Because like you said, we all don't even, because I never thought about what's your money story. We all literally have a money story.
Yes.
Whatever the history is, whatever our parents taught us, like you said, it starts from generations. Even deeper than that, it starts from generations in. What did their parents teach them?
Yes.
Exactly.
To pass on. So yeah, most definitely. Because I mean, I didn't even think like, what's my money story? I never thought to put it like that. And I could probably write a book, right?
Yeah, because listen, that money story influences and it motivates how you teach your wife, your daughter, your son, your niece, your nephew, how you steward your money, how you invest your money, how you see your money, how you talk to your money, how you spend your money. Your money story influences the foundation of who you are in reference to your money.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we all have a story. We all have a past. We all have a relationship, whether it's good, bad, and different, whatever it is. There, we all have one. And most people don't think about it, like you said, Marcus. Until I ask them, people like, and then they're like, well, what is a money story? And then it really grounds people to really think about the experiences and the interactions and the behaviors they've had with money, and the behaviors they've seen others had with money, because we pick that up too. We are vessels. We people that learn from learning and looking at others, creatures of habit. We pick up on those things just by looking and seeing at other people. So what did you see? What were their behaviors? So that's part of your money story.
Yeah, love
it sounds like we're living out our money story, even if we're not talking about it or saying it in our behaviors. That's what you're saying, in our habits and how we
behavior.
Wow.
So it's gonna come out either way, right? It's gonna come out either way, whether you're thinking about it, whether you're not thinking about it, So yeah, it's important to feed yourself in a positive way in that aspect.
Yeah, and be honest and transparent about it. So whether you tell, like you said, Mark, it's gonna come out either way. Whether you tell me, your behaviors is going to tell me the story.
Yes.
Like you
Yes.
have to physically tell me your behaviors, and us just having a conversation is going to say way more
Mhm.
than what you're not telling me. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. So the overspending, all those kind of things, the not being able, not having the skills to budget, that kind of thing. It all spills over.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It all spills over. It does. And it has an impact, and it's significant.
mm. That's good. That's good. I like that one. I'm definitely gonna take that one with me.
Yeah, you can have it. Take it all. Teach somebody else, Mark.
What's your money story? Yeah,
What's your money story? Yeah.
I love it. All right. So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So fear and anxiety around money are common, whether it's fear of not having enough or fear of making the wrong decisions. What are some practical ways people can overcome financial fears?
I always say, I think that the first thing of overcoming fear, just in general, is just a lot of introspection. Fear comes from a place of anxiety of quote unquote not knowing what's going to happen next. So to me, that tells me a little bit about your faith.
I like that.
Oh, come on now. Wait, man. We're going to keep. Marcus said,
oh, I like that one.
We did say biblical principles and
Yes.
application. Okay.
Right?
Yes, getting your word.
Fear comes from anxiety of the unknown, which causes the anxiety of not knowing the next step. If I'm going to be supplied, if I'm going to have, if I'm going to work, can I spend it? All of that comes from just not knowing, right?
Yes.
And we're all guilty of it. I've been there, done that, and I'm still practicing that space too, right? Absolutely. But in this space, you also have, and I think that influences. Well, what is your faith like in those spaces?
I like that.
What is your faith like in those spaces? So I just think anxiety, just overall in general, whether it's about money or change, transition, doing something new, stepping into a new job, whatever it is, let's just talk about what you're speaking to yourself and what is your faith like, first of all.
I love it.
Where are we with our faith? Making sure that we do introspection so that we are doing some self-awareness work. Number 2, knowing that like adding financial health is a part of the holistic part of the human being. So what is the relationship that you have with yourself? Do you speak positively to yourself? Do you see yourself in a positive light? Am I worthy? Am I deserving? Am I valuable? Am I worth the investment? Like, what are you saying to yourself? What is the relationship with you? Secondly.
So now we're talking about positive self-talk.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. What is your faith like? What is the relationship with yourself? Like you said, doing some positive self-talk. Are you connected with someone that you know, you like, and you can trust? Who you connected to?
That's that social.
Just circle.
Yeah, who you talking to? And who's talking to you? And what are they saying to you?
Come on now.
Come on.
Come on now.
If you, what's the analogy? If your group of friends, if you hang around a group of billionaires, you're going to become the 10th billionaire, right? Because you're going to pick up on the education, on the behaviors. You're going to start taking notes. You're going to just be saturating yourself around the information. Yep. But if you become the 10th hundredaire, like,
yeah.
And I'm not saying, hundreds is good. Like, we good. But I'm saying, like, we got to make sure that we're connected to people that we know, we like, and trust, that can pour into us, that can speak to us, that can teach us things that we don't know, because we don't know it all. I don't know it all. And, I'm still a learning process. And I teach it, and I'm a clinician, but I do not know it all. Right? So your faith, what is your faith like? Doing some self-awareness work, making sure you're surrounded by good people that you know, you like, and you trust. I always say get connected, like, with the financial advisor,
Hmm.
someone in the banking industry, someone that you can talk to about money and regarding your concerns or your challenges regarding your finances. And then also, what are you writing down?
Oh, that's powerful.
What what are we writing? Are you writing how much money is coming in and how much is going out? Or are you writing your bills down on a calendar? Like tangible stuff. Like every month, I got the same bills every month, right? And they all go on a calendar. And as I pay them, I cross them out. Cross them out. And I also put my pay periods on the calendar. So I know during this pay period, I have to pay this, because that's it, that's in that 2 week pay period. And the next 2 week pay period is this, and this. So you know where your money is going and how you can spend your money. So making sure that we're writing down as well. Everything is in our mind and we can't hold everything, which is sometimes why we forget.
Or we get overwhelmed
Yes,
because we're not tracking.
that part.
Okay.
Yep. We
Wow.
get overwhelmed because we're not tracking it. We're not looking at it. We're not checking our bank accounts because why? Because I'm scared
Because we scared.
of what that number is going to say or not going to say, or how many zeros are not in my account. Yeah, no. Mm-mm. When it comes to anxiety and fear, we have to make sure that um, we are just starting at the foundation. What is your faith like? What is the relationship with yourself? What are you saying to yourself? Connect with someone you like and you trust, a professional. So we're in a banking business, a financial advisor, a financial therapist, a financial counselor, but also someone tangible that can teach you about the money. I don't know everything about money. I don't do stocks, bonds, investments, life insurance. I don't do that stuff. But I'm connected to people who do.
There you go.
Right? I don't do it, but I have a whole team around me who do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 4, just making sure that we are writing down, getting a calendar, and we are writing down when the money comes in, when the money goes out, and the bills.
And maybe being honest about how we're spending our money too, because it's so easy now to swipe your card or do your Apple Pay or tap, and before you know it, you
Yeah.
spent funds that you didn't.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah.
Under the guise, oh, I deserve it,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
hard this week.
Transparency.
Yeah, they definitely created a million ways to take your money for sure.
Yes. First of all, before you got to be transparent and open and honest with yourself. That is the first step. So I thank you for saying that. You have to be open and vulnerable to want change or to want to help, and you got to just be transparent. Because if you hiding it, it's gonna come back.
Like, oh yeah.
It's gonna,
Like we talked about earlier, it always shows back up. It's
gonna
come out.
show.
Whether you're dealing with it or not, it's gonna come out.
That's right.
It will. It will. Yeah, it sure will.
So I love that fact. I love the writing piece. It's something about putting a pen to pad or a pen. It's just something about how it connects with your mind, right? And that's through all aspects of wellness. I love it. I love it. So you spoke about the social piece, about your surroundings, the people you're around.
Yeah.
Hanging with the wrong people, because that's going to rub off on you, whether you like it or not, whether you know it or not, whether you're even trying or not. If you're hanging around the wrong people, of course, that's going to rub off on you. And then, of course, the faith piece. Stay in your word. The Bible says many things about finances and even more about being there for you and God being there to support you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm gonna go on to my next question. A lot of people feel stuck when it comes to their finances. What are the biggest mindset shifts that can help people move from financial stagnation to financial growth?
First is, do they believe? Do they believe that they are worthy enough of the transition and the change? So if you think of, I love butterflies. But if you think about the metamorphosis process of a butterfly, that caterpillar is ugly.
Wow.
That thing is ugly, it's fuzzy, it's crawling, it's jacked up. Like I don't even want to, I don't even want to touch me. Right? But when it goes through the metamorphosis process, it turns out to be a beautiful butterfly.
Mm.
So I think we have to ask ourselves, do we want change? Do we want transition? Because that comes with risk. And risk isn't always bad, right?
Of course.
Risk isn't always bad. Risk can be accountability. Risk can be doing something you've never done before. Risk can be taking chances. Risk can be um, connecting with a financial advisor. Risk could be just doing something that you've never done before. Risk isn't always a bad thing, right? So, first and foremost, is just making sure that are you prepared? Are you ready for the change and why?
Mm.
Well, oh, you know, and the why part is probably the most most important.
Yep.
Because if you're doing it for, I'm doing it for my husband, I'm doing it for my kids. Yeah, that's great, but who's doing it for you?
Yes, sir.
And I
Absolutely.
love your butterfly analogy because it also might not be pretty. It might not be a pretty process,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what you're saying about make sure you're doing it for you and also that you're not worried about what it looks like to other people because it might be downsizing,
Yeah,
right? Being honest about can I afford where I am
Yes.
right now?
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It might not be pretty at
That's
all.
that's a
No,
tough conversation right there.
yep,
So we make it to certain levels, and it's like, yeah, I made it here. We're so proud of ourselves, and we may have prematurely leveled ourselves up. Um,
mhm,
ahead of our process. So that's good. That's good, Aisha.
Wow.
yeah, yeah. And what I heard you say is also financial boundaries,
Mm.
Mhm.
having boundaries with myself, but also having boundaries with other people. And most people, right? Y'all stay with me because this might be far fetched for some people, but stay with me. When
Yeah.
people think about the
Yeah.
word boundary, right? Let's start here. When you think about the word boundary, real quickly, what comes to mind? When you think about the word boundary, what comes to mind? What words come to mind? You say, I had to put boundaries in place for myself.
Limits.
Yeah.
Limits.
Building a fence. That's what I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yup. Limits, fence, restrictions, things I cannot do.
Hmm.
But let's consider boundary gives me the opportunity and the chance to do everything I want to do in life.
Mm.
Meaning, if I create a boundary for myself with my friends, with whomever, they know that I'm working on my money story and I'm working on my finances. That means they are able to support me. So you start creating a community. They're able to support me. They're able to hold me accountable. They're able um, to pull me back on track when I'm straying left or right, up or down. When I think a word about the word boundary, it's not always in confinement.
Mm.
Mm.
Sometimes boundaries allow me to do everything I want to do, just like the word budget. When you hear the word budget and boundary, they kind of go hand in hand. Most people say they do. When you hear the word budget, they think about things I can't do, restrictions, building a fence, limitations. What if the budget was put in place and allowed you to do everything you want to do?
Come on.
Because I have a budget, which means I have limitations, because I have a boundary for my money, I can get my house renovated. You know why? Because I had boundaries and I had a budget.
Yes.
Because I had a boundary and I had a budget for myself, I can go on that trip to Dubai. Because I had a boundary, because I had a budget, I'm able to get my windows tinted on my car. Sometimes boundaries and budgets aren't about the things that we cannot do, but it's
Mhm.
about everything that I can do.
I think you preaching now.
Right.
Amen. Amen.
I love it.
We have to change the perspective
Mhm,
because that's what I was taught, at least.
mhm.
Boundaries, budgets are things that I cannot do, and that which causes frustration, anxiety, fear, feelings of overwhelm because I can't do this and I can't do that and I can't. No, guess what? I have a budget and I can do everything I want to do in my life. Everything. I get my nails done, I get my feet done, I get my hair done, I get my eyebrows done, I go to the movies, I go to dinner, I get my everything I want to do. Why? It's because I have a boundary, because I have a budget. So we kind of have to transition and shift ourselves from saying creating a budget is not about the things I can't do, but being able to transform and transition myself to elevate into the things that I can do. Boundaries protect me. Boundaries create love for me. Boundaries are in a place where I'm able to sit myself down. Because when you don't have boundaries, you all over the place. Think about it.
Yeah.
When you don't have boundaries, right? You all over the place. You out of bounds. The referee gonna say no. You out of bounds in that football game, in that basketball game. You get kicked out the game.
But
If you stay within the bounds, you can
Mhm.
dribble the ball wherever you want to go. You can pass it to whoever you want to pass it to. You can do a cross up. Well, listen, let me alley oop that thing. Listen, you can do whatever you want to do on the court when you in those boundaries. You hear me? When you outside those boundaries and you want to do what you want to do when you want to do it, when you don't have provision, when you don't have guidance, when you're not seated in a place, right? When you don't have covering, when you don't have leadership, you all over the place and you're doing what you want to do, and it don't work.
Let's go.
It don't work.
It don't work.
Please let me know when it works because I need to learn something from somebody else because it didn't work for me.
I love it.
no, I think you're right on it.
Yes.
It just don't work. So just transitioning our mind from saying, no, budgets are great for me. Budgets are safe. Budgets are responsible. They're respectful. They're honest. They're transparent. Boundaries allow me to sit with me. Allow me to learn a little bit more about me. Boundaries, I think, are great. Budgets are great. I follow them.
Yes. I love that. I love that. So we talking about perception, right? Talking about having the right mindset, money mindset, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. The analogy, the sports analogy was on point. When you got to bounce, you got the game.
You want the game.
You got the game. It don't matter what you do. It ain't right. It's not even gonna count.
Listen, flag on the play. You cross the line. Get out. I'll push you out the bounds. That play don't count. Do it again. Right? You know what I'm saying?
That's
we're
good.
Saying God will continue to bring that same concern or that same situation back to you multiple times, but it's just in different forms and different people.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't accomplish it with Jerry, so now you got to do it with Chris, or now you got to do it with Susan, and now you got to do it with Sam. It's the same person in a different body. It's the same situation.
It's the same test. You're gonna
Same
pass the test. Yep.
Yeah. Same test.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Okay. So
y'all probably think I'm crazy. Like, you tell Pastor Tanya I want to come back. Don't y'all please?
No.
You welcome anytime. You welcome.
Don't give me the boo, y'all. Don't give me the boo.
Nah, the energy's amazing. We love it here.
Thank you.
We love a little crazy here. All right. So I'm gonna go on to another question. All right.
Let's do it.
So I'm gonna say, so we've all heard the phrase "money doesn't buy happiness," right? From your perspective, what is the real relationship between money and happiness?
So I think money does buy happiness if you think about it. In a sense.
Okay. In a sense.
In a sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
It may not be a long-term happiness, but but I think it buys you out of. It probably can buy you out of depression for a little bit. It probably can buy you out of anxiety a little bit, worry a little bit.
Mhm.
It won't be long term. 9 times out of 10, it won't be a long term,
Right.
but temporarily. Like, think about it. When you get your direct deposit in your bank account, you're able to pay your mortgage and your BG&E and your car note and your car insurance. You be like, "Woo! I'm glad I was able to pay my bill. I feel so good now."
Yes.
I'm excited. Like, I'm excited when I get my bi-weekly paycheck. I'm excited when I can pay my mortgage and my car note and my car insurance. So it excites me when I'm able to use my money to steward it the right way.
There you go. Yeah.
To steward. Let me be precise.
When you brought it around. You brought it around.
To steward it in the right way, to invest it in the right way, I get excited. It reminds me of the saying that what is it? Money is the root of all evil.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So even with that, is it really the money is the root of all evil, or is it the behaviors that we do with our money that's evil, or that's disingenuous, or that's not loving, or that's not supporting?
Mm-hmm.
Is that, I mean, that's how I consider it and how I think about it.
Yes.
I'm a clinical person. I'm a psychology person, so I always tie it back to the full holistic care, the behaviors, what influenced it. Why are we in this position? How did we get here? So in my space, stewarding your money well brings happiness. But on the back end, when you have the money, but you don't have a relationship with yourself, and you don't have a relationship with your money, how are you stewarding it?
Yeah.
What are you doing with it?
Yeah.
Or even if you don't have a relationship with God or faith,
yes,
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Most definitely.
That's deep.
Most definitely.
Yeah. Because whatever is in your heart is what you're going to do. Apostle talks about that all the time. What's in your heart?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That brings me to Matthew 6:21. Where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What's in your heart?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to give or do you not want to give? What does your heart say about that? What's your heart space?
Yep.
What's your relationship with your faith,
Mm-hmm.
with your stewardship, with God?
Yes.
We're reminded, with that scripture at least, to seek the kingdom of God before all else, right? And we will live righteously, and He will give you all that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew 6:33. Yep. Seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness.
I love that. I tend to agree with the question or with your answer to the question, I should say, as far as money buying happiness. I think that, like you said, like we were talking about, as long as you have that relationship with God, right, you're going to know how to steward your money.
Mm-hmm.
Money will go, to the proper places. I believe that money can, like you said, temporarily happiness, right? But along with other things, of course, it's a concoction of things, right? That goes with that. But it can buy you happiness. I also believe that these things, like you said, money is the root of all evil. Money can't buy you happiness. I also believe those things were placed to hold us back and to cause us to not to have that mindset shift into a wealth mindset, right? Because I have a verse here, Ecclesiastes 5:10. Whoever loves money never has enough. Whoever loves wealth is never satisfied with their income. So as long as you're not in love with the money, as long as you don't have a love for money, just because you know how to make money does not make you necessarily evil.
Right.
Right. So that's my view on the question.
Right. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Thank you for saying that. That's really good.
Absolutely.
For sure. And if we just remember that everything that we have comes from God.
Mhm.
Right? We're not, and it's our job to be good stewards over it, like you were saying, to be good stewards.
Mhm.
We're not, it's a gift from God, whatever we have. And then it's not about how much we have, but how we use what He's blessed us with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just making sure, I think also in this place of like mental health and money management comes probably a lot of it comes a lot of burden. Like we become angry, we become frustrated, we become embarrassed. We hold on to the things we did or didn't do with money. So sometimes we forget to grant ourselves grace. We forget to grant our parents and our grandparents and our aunts and uncles grace because they only taught us from the place of what they knew.
Absolutely.
Right? That's so the scripture I think about is Ephesians 4:32. And it says, be kind to one another, tenderhearted, forgiving each other, just as God in Christ also has forgiven you.
Mm.
So we got to make sure that we forgive ourselves for the things that we didn't do or the things that we did do with money. Whatever the mistakes we have, God, ask for forgiveness.
Mhm.
If I didn't steward my money well, ask for forgiveness. If I was disrespectful to my parents or blamed them for not teaching me X, Y, and Z, forgive them because they only taught you what they knew at that time,
Mhm.
potentially. Forgive yourself for all the hurt, harm, and danger that you did with your money. Whatever the things that you didn't do with your money, even the things that you did do with your money,
Yes.
for throw it in the sea. What is it? Cast in the sea of forgiveness.
Yeah.
Cast it on in there.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we are also granting ourselves grace and we forgive ourselves and we forgive our parents and our grandparents and our aunts and our uncles and our friends and our cousins and our siblings for the things they taught us or did not teach us.
Mhm.
Please forgive them and also forgive yourself for holding on to that burden because we
Yes.
need to be free in this space, right?
Yes.
Financially free and spiritually free. So just
Yes.
make sure that we grant ourselves grace and ask for forgiveness with our money.
And I like to ask for forgiveness. Forgive ourselves
Forgive
Yes.
ourselves.
that we've made in the past. We often talk a lot about forgiving other people, and yeah, so that's deep. Like forgive yourself, because
Yes.
if you never forgive yourself, that it's always going to be there, right? Until you move that rock, it's always going to be there.
Yeah. It becomes hard to transition to the next phase of your life if you're still holding on to something
Oh,
that God
Yes.
said, listen, I forgave you for that. Why are you still holding on to it?
Mm-hmm.
You're just causing a detriment to yourself. So no, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for the things you have done or not done with your money. Whatever it is, forgive yourself. Ask God for forgiveness.
Love it.
I love that.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right, all right. So the next couple questions is about money and relationships.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Okay.
money is often one of the biggest sources of stress in a relationship. What are some healthy ways couples can navigate financial discussions? Where we start? Okay.
So listen, when we dating,
Mm-hmm.
how you spend? I'm gonna ask questions about money. I think I think these questions should start in the dating phase. Hey, tell me a little bit about your relationship with your finances. What are the important things you do with your money?
Mm.
Ask about credit score.
Now, what date we talking about? It's not the
Oh,
first date.
not the first date.
You might get put out the restaurant. I'm not paying for your meal. Don't be asking me what my credit score is.
We gonna put it all on the table. Let's go. That's funny.
No, like so I think just asking like what is the importance um what is the significance of money in reference to you? How did you learn about finances?
Mm.
Um, Tell me the type of bank accounts you have. What, in relationships and coming together, do you see us having a joint account, or do you want to keep things separate? How do you spend your money? Do you have your bills on auto pay, or do you go in manually to pay your bills? I ask those types of questions. Me personally, not on the first date, Mark. Not on the first date.
I know that's your lane, so I wouldn't even be mad at the first date. We ain't gonna play no games.
Right, we ain't playing no games. We dating with purpose and intention, right? Not on the first date, but I mean, if we talking about first of all, if you're dating with purpose and intention to marriage, we got to talk about what does God even say about marriage, right? And then two becomes one. Are we merging our accounts together? Are we having a joint account? Or are we having separate accounts? And then literally asking about how did you learn about money? What is the significance of money to you? I'm a little bit of a money geek a little bit. So I'm like, what's your favorite type of bank institution? What's your favorite credit union? I do all types of silly stuff like that. But I think asking these questions in the dating phase is very important because money is the number one stressor in a relationship. Now, if you're already married and we're having some stress, or you're already in partnership, whether you're married or not, already in partnership with someone and you guys are having some challenges with money, I think you gotta sit down and take a step back and say, when we were dating or in the early stages of our relationship or in our marriage, how were we navigating our finances? Was there always a whole bunch of Amazon boxes coming? And at first it was cute. Ooh, that's cute.
Now it's a problem.
Now it's a problem, right? So most of the time we gotta look at the behaviors, and 9 times out of 10 we allowed it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
We allowed it to happen. We didn't discuss it. We didn't talk about it. So now it becomes a problem when we're trying to purchase something or buy something or merge our money together. Now it becomes an issue.
Mm-hmm.
So, discussing what those patterns look like, discussing some of our fears with our money, discussing if we've ever had joint accounts with other people or with other partners before.
I like that.
Asking about, is your bills on auto pay or do you pay them manually?
Like that.
Also discussing, do you want to have a joint account or do you want to have a separate account? Also looking at what is the significance of money to you, or finances, or wealth, and what is the significance of money to you, to finance and wealth, right?
Can you ask about debt? Do you
yeah.
recommend that? Like, I don't want any surprises.
No.
I don't want to. Now we didn't walk down the aisle. Now I'm finding out, we have a large outstanding debt.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
5 shares you're behind on.
Yes. Talk about the debt. I think it's a lot easier when we're talking about money and having these types of conversations when you are open and honest with yourself, and you can be transparent, when you can come forward yourself initially and you can be the example. So I just want to be open and honest with you that I appreciate us dating, or I think we're doing really well in our marriage. But I have some debt. I have some student loan debt. I have some credit card debt. And I want to make sure that this doesn't affect you, but I want to take care of it before we get married or before it, affects you. This is how I got into it. This is my plan. Like, we got to talk about a plan too.
Yes.
Discussing the debt, discussing the money, right? We got to talk about a plan. This is my vision. What is your vision? How do we create one vision? right?
Wow.
And then how do we execute it? What's the easiest way to execute it? Are we doing the snowball method? Meaning writing down all the bills, all the debt, from the smallest to the largest, and we just throwing money at it. No matter whose bill it is, no matter whose debt it is, whether it's mine or my husband's, just throwing money at it.
Mhm.
So what is the path? Create a plan to make sure that we are able to tackle the debt. Is also important.
Yes.
Yeah. But what I've learned in having these types of conversations is that I'll put myself on Front Street first
Mhm.
and say, hey, this is where I'm struggling a little bit with my finances. I have some credit card debt, or I still got a car note. I owe X amount of money on my car note. Some of my bills on auto pay and some of them are not. Or I'm on child support, or I got 5 timeshares that I'm paying for. Like, I think if you are able to be the example for that person, because sometimes we don't have that example for, they don't know how to have the conversation.
Yeah.
Right? We don't know how to have these conversations. And usually they become so big because we're pointing fingers. You did this and you did that and you did this. You did that. Compared to, hey, I didn't appreciate when X, Y, and Z was spent out of the joint account. Can you share a little bit about what your vision is on how we spend money? So now it's a collective. It's a collective conversation. It's nothing but it's just the language that we use.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the language that we use. No, you did this and you did that, and I didn't like this and I didn't like this. Compared to what's your vision regarding your money? Whenever we come against a problem, this is how I present it to you. Or hey, I ran into something that came up. I got a letter in the mail that I owe $1,500 on a past due bill that I didn't know was there. This is my plan on how to tackle it. How can you support me in this space? Does that make sense for us? I think if we have those collective conversations compared to just dealing with it on ourselves or pointing fingers, it looks a little different. That also goes back to writing it down. What is the plan? How are we going to tackle it? Do we want to tackle it first? Do we want to pay this bill?
The real conversation.
Do I want to pay the bill? Right? I may not want to pay it. So I think just making sure we come with a humble heart in those comments. So first of all, talking about it during the dating phase. Me, I talked about it really early in dating my partner. Really early, like the first 3 months, we was talking about money and finances. First 3 months, first 90 days, we talking about money and finances.
Right, y'all dug in, huh?
Yeah, we getting it right on in. Because I think that also gives the other person autonomy to make the decision of whether I want to deal with this or not, compared to you making a decision for me. If we're in partnership, be open, be honest, be transparent. Let's have fun. Let's talk about it. Don't take away my autonomy to, first of all, help you, to support you, or to take away my own decision of whether I want to be with you or not. Don't take that away from me.
Agreed.
Men and women, don't take that away from your partner. Don't take it away from your partner. So have the conversation. Be transparent about it. Create a plan. Create a plan of what you want it to look like and what's your vision for your money. Individually, what's the vision? And collectively, what's the vision? But yes, please talk about it early in relationship.
I love it. And I couldn't agree more. Especially if you plan on moving forward with that person, because you don't want to get 5 years in and like, what happened? Where'd that come from?
I didn't know. Yep.
All those questions.
You didn't know because you didn't ask.
You didn't ask. Yeah.
Wait a minute now. What you mean I didn't ask?
I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Okay. So we're about to wrap up here for the night. Awesome information.
Yes.
Ashlyn, we appreciate you. We appreciate you providing your knowledge and professionalism. Most definitely. Is there anything that you want the people to take with them tonight? If anything, what's the most important piece? Excuse me, I should say that you want people to take with them tonight.
Yeah, the most important piece I want people to take with them tonight. First of all, thank you. You all are so awesome and amazing. So thank you for supporting me in this conversation and allowing me to come on and be my little silly, crazy, loud self.
Yes, indeed.
Y'all don't tell Apostle, he might kick me out. And tell Pastor Tanya I want to come back again. So
definitely.
You know you will.
Thank you for that. First and foremost, I appreciate the opportunity to share this platform with you. The second thing I would share is the 4 affirmations I tell myself. And I want people to say them to themselves, right? When you're in a place when you don't feel confident, when you don't feel supported, when you don't know which way to go, when you feel like things are hard, be mindful of what you are speaking to yourself, what you are feeding your spirit, who is surrounded by you, right? And what you are writing down. The 4 affirmations I say to myself, and I say to community when I'm teaching or facilitating a workshop, is number 1 is that I am worthy, I am deserving, I am valuable, and I am worth the investment. I am worthy, I am deserving, I am valuable, and I am worth the investment. I don't care where you are in life. I don't care how old you are, how young you are, what you've gone through, what has happened to you, because you are not the situations. Things happen to us. I don't care what you are doing in your life. Be mindful that you have the power to rewrite your story at any point in life.
Love it.
You have the power to rewrite the narrative of your story, of your chapter, no matter where you are in life. And make sure that you know that you're deserving of great things. You are valuable. There's value inside of me, right? I am deserving. No, I deserve to be there and to have this freedom. And I am worth the investment, no matter what the investment is. Investment isn't always monetary. Investment could be taking a nap, taking a day off from work, reading my book, writing in my journal, going to Bible study, not going to that meeting. Make sure that you are worth the investment. Pour into yourself. Pour into you. Saturate yourself with good word. Make sure that you are under good leadership. You are under good covering.
That part.
Because they are going to lead you in the right direction. And they're also going to hold you accountable. Be like, no, that's funky. I wouldn't recommend doing that. So 4 affirmations: I'm worthy, I'm deserving, I'm valuable, I'm worth the investment. Making sure that we're connecting ourselves with great people, that you are under good leadership. And guess what? Change is scary. Transition is scary. Stepping out and doing things different is scary, but we only need a little bit of faith. It only needs to be the side. It just begin. It just begin with the mustard seed.
Mustard seed.
That's it. That's all it needs to begin with. And as you continue to walk through, your confidence will grow. Your faith will increase.
Love it. Love it. Yeah. Love it. So where are you on social media? Where can they follow you at? Where can they contact you to get your services?
Yes, I am on social media. I am on Instagram as The Money Social Worker. Ashlyn Price, The Money Social Worker on Instagram. On Facebook, it's just my name, Ashlyn Price. I'm also on LinkedIn as Ashlyn Price. What else am I doing? My website is www.themoneysocialworker.com. Facebook.com. You can Google me, themoniesocialworker.com. My website, themoniesocialworker.com. What else? Some great things, some great partnership I have coming up with Fresh Start as well. So you all will be seeing me and hearing me very, very soon. I'm super excited. I'm not going to share too much details. I'll let Apollo share that. But you all will be seeing me very, very soon. So, yes, I'm on Instagram, The Money Social Worker, Facebook, Ashland Price, LinkedIn, Ashland Price. My website, themoniesocialworker.com. Google themoniesocialworker.com. Or my email address is info@themoniesocialworker.com.
The
Okay.
Money
Social Worker.
The Money Social Worker. Just type it in, you'll find me some kind of way.
Awesome. Look, I appreciate y'all time. Thanks for who's watching and who will be watching. I appreciate you, my wonderful co-hosts. Both of you guys did an amazing job. It was incredible. Everybody have a good one. This has been another installment, Worship of Wellness, where we believe in biblical principles with practical steps. Good night.